champ now.
Yes, I didn't say. What are you looking so sad about, champ?
I'm surprised at you. I mean, I'm really insulted. I mean, that's not right what you just said.
What do you mean? What I just said?
I mean, I'm gonna get a drink of water. I'm late getting home, but you talk. I said something about the greatest heavyweight champ, man. I'm a hometown man, and you talk about Joe Louis, man. Joe Louis wouldn't be nothing for me. Joe, I tell you, Joe, do you think you would have stood a chance with me?
Well, Clay, during my career, I went on a Bomber of the Month tour.
Bomber of the Month? I would have been a bomb compared to you.
Well, you've been on the tour.
Oh, man.
Watch this. A left-right combination by Rocky draws a beautiful left hook counter by La Starza. Oh, his man down. La Starza has been knocked down, but never out. As he himself puts it, I know how to get up. During this, and ducking under those shots by Marciano. Watch.
What's happening, my people? It's Cash Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. Now, as usual, before we get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people who just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to be a content creator. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. Miss Cass, hashtag JBT. Mike Mazik. Salute, Mike. Salute to everyone. And welcome to another episode of Cass Sports, The Box Story. Today, the life and career of Sergey Kovalev. Sergey Kovalev. And you know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's The Box Story, bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. How's everyone today? Welcome to the Friday afternoon edition of Cass Sports, The Box Story. Right back at the end of another big week of boxing history. It's time for the Friday's profile this week. The life and career of Sergey Kovalev. Yeah, like I've been talking about all week, had a fire resume. When I looked at it last night, it was even more fire than I thought it was. You know, Andre Ward twice, Fury, John Pascal twice. Fought many of the big names of his era. But of course, he fought in that era where a lot of big names were fighting each other, more so than they do today. Now, I'm not saying every fight was a big name. That's not what I'm saying at all. But fought a lot of the big names of his era. We're gonna get into it. But first, that highlights of boxing history today is I have 10 of the toughest boxers in history. 10 of the toughest boxers in boxing history today. For our highlights of boxing history segment. So let's get into that to start the show off this Friday. 10 of the toughest boxers in boxing history. Okay? Now, when it comes to ranking fighters throughout history, there is always going to be divided opinions. And this is especially true when talking about toughest boxers ever. Now, whether you're an old school boxing fan or a follower of the modern era, these rankings cover every generation of the sport. Okay? Now, while most, bear with me for a minute. That always happens. Be right back with you. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. 10 of the toughest boxers in boxing history. Now, where were we? That was my fault. Now, while most rankings have a variety of judging criteria, this list today has just one: sheer toughness and grit. So let's get right into the top 10. 10 of the top toughest boxers. 10 toughest boxers in history, okay? We're going to go from number 10 to number 1. Okay? 10 to 1. At number 10, Pancho Villa. Pancho Villa is number 10. Now, to start off these rankings, we go back to the early 1900s and pay homage to Filipino icon Pancho Villa. Standing at just 5 foot 1 inch tall, his size did not stop him from being one of the most formidable fighters of his era. He tragically passed away at the age of just 23, but before that would have over 100 fights in his young career, with 89 wins. Died at 23 years old and still had over 100 fights. Wow. 189 of them. Famously, Vila was never knocked out, and his name has become legendary in the sport of boxing, where he is now a member of the coveted International Boxing Hall of Fame. Well, it used to be coveted before they started letting Turkey Ali Sheik and Rocky and all them people in. But he's in there. Pancho Villa, okay? Coming in at number 9, toughest fighters of all time, Gennady Golovkin, Triple G, Mr. Triple G. Okay, there he is. Gennady Golovkin, number 9. One of the true icons of the modern era and a name that transcends boxing. Triple G spent years dominating the middleweight division, where he was known for not only his attacking ability, but also being able to take huge shots and shrug them off like they were nothing. Yeah. Great chin. Triple G, yeah. Many British fighters have met their fate when coming up against Triple G. Amir Khan and Kell Brook are just 2 of the former world champions on his impressive resume. Yep, Amir Khan and Kell Brook both on there. You always thought it was a mistake for Kell Brook going up there messing with Triple G. Coming in at number 8, toughest boxers of all time, the real deal, Evander Holyfield, number 8. Okay. Another name that many are sure to recognize on this countdown is Evander Holyfield. He was a huge part of what many regard as one of the golden eras of boxing. Known as the real deal, this guy was a dominating force in the ring throughout his peak in the 1990s, putting aside some legends of the sport on his way to unifying both the cruiserweight and heavyweight divisions. The likes of George Foreman and Larry Holmes were on Holyfield's hit list, with his most famous victories arguably coming against Iron Mike Tyson. The real deal, okay, coming in at number 8. Okay, number 7 now. Larry Holmes. Number 7. Toughest list, top 10 toughest boxers of all time. Larry Holmes, number 7. Going from 10 to 1. Speaking of Holmes, he just edges Holyfield and comes in at 7th place in the list of the toughest boxers of all time. The 6'3" heavyweight fought into his 50s and faced almost every big name available to him. His left jab is etched into the sport's history and is unanimously considered one of the toughest to face, with few fighters ever managing to emulate the ferocity of the Holmes jab. Holmes would win his first 48 fights in a row on his way to winning the World Heavyweight Championship. Larry Holmes. Okay. Coming in at number 6. 10 toughest fighters of all time. Number 6. Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez. Yep. Now, Mexican legend Canelo Alvarez is a top contender for the crown of the GOAT of 21st century boxing so far. The 34-year-old has had an astounding 66 fights in his career and, remarkably, is yet to be knocked down, let alone knocked out, never been knocked down, okay? That's right. Not only has nobody been able to knock Canelo out, but he's never even hit the canvas. At 5'9", his size is deceiving to say the least, but it hasn't stopped him from winning world titles in 4 separate weight classes, and the first ever 4-belt undisputed at 168. Canelo Alvarez. Okay, now let's top 5 of the toughest fighters of all time. Let's look at the top 5 toughest fighters of all time. Coming in at number 5, Iron Mike Tyson. Number 5. Now, when Tyson fought, the world stood still and watched. His fights were often short, with many ending in the first round, showcasing his ability to finish opponents quickly. Tyson's intimidating presence, both physically and psychologically, played a significant role. His intense stare and aggressive trash talking were part of his strategy. As the youngest heavyweight champion of all time, Tyson's early career was a string of knockouts against seasoned fighters that put many new eyes on the sport. His combination of raw talent, psychological warfare, and the timing of his rise in the heavyweight division made Tyson one of the greats. Iron Mike. Coming in at number 4, 10 toughest fighters of all time, Muhammad Ali. That's right, number 4, Muhammad Ali. And notice all these fighters had great chins too. When I did the top best chins list a few weeks ago, a lot of the same fighters on both lists. Muhammad Ali, number 4. Now wait a minute. Here we go again. Excuse me for a minute. So Muhammad Ali is number 4, 10 toughest fighters in history. Number 4, Muhammad Ali. Let's talk about Muhammad briefly. That has everybody today. It's Friday. Talking about Sergey Kovalev today. Mike Rim in the building. What's up, Mike? We're looking at the 10 toughest fighters in boxing history. Number 4 is Muhammad Ali. We're in the top 5 now. Salute, Mike Rim. Number 4, Muhammad Ali. Does this man need any introduction? If we're talking about names that transcend the sport of boxing, look no further than Muhammad Ali. Some people seem to forget how good Ali actually was, as his fame can overshadow his ability in the boxing ring. Ali is easily one of the toughest men to have set foot in a ring, and he inspired generations that have come after him, with countless legends shaping their fighting technique to emulate what he did. Ali was never knocked out in his career and arguably fought in one of the most competitive eras in the history of the sport. Now, he was stopped, but never knocked out. TKOs. 10 toughest fighters of all time. Number 3, the marvelous one, marvelous Marvin Hagler. Number 3. Now, just making it into the podium position is one of the most exciting fighters in the history of the middleweight division. Marvelous Marvin Hagler was a joy to watch, combining efficiency and power with pure entertainment. Standing at 5'9", Hagler proves further that the smaller guys in the sport could be tougher than some of the giant heavyweights. Perhaps best known for his iron chin, Hagler was never defeated by stoppage in his entire career, and his famous victories under his belt, as well as being part of what many believe to be the best fight of all time when he faced off against Thomas the Hitman Hearns in 1985. Yeah, that was a doozy. Him and Hearns, yeah. Only 3 rounds, one fight of the year. They had some other great fights that year. Michael Spinks and Larry Holmes fought that year in a 12-round fight. Had a Hector Camacho and I think Jose Luis Ramirez. fought that year. And this 3-round fight won Fight of the Year. Melanin Queen 27. Salute. Happy Friday. The Queen is here early today. Salute, Melanin Queen. Right now, we were just, highlights the boxing history segment. We were just talking about 10 of the toughest boxers of all time. We're going to go back over them, just name them when I finish, but we're down to number 2. Number 2 in the toughest fighters of all time is Big George Foreman. Just Do Boxing in the building. What's up, Just Do? Coming up at 4 p.m. with that unbiased, balanced boxing talk. Everybody gets to Just Do at Just Do Boxing. Salute, Just. We're just talking about 10 of the toughest fighters of all time. Number 2 is Big George Foreman. I'm going to name the 10 again when I finish. Okay. Big George. We go back to the heavyweight division for the second toughest fighter of all time. Big George Foreman stood at 6 foot 4 inches and was a ferocious force inside the ring. Now, he's known for fighting across multiple eras, with his career spanning a ridiculous 28 years. In terms of famous and memorable fights, Foreman was part of perhaps the best of the bunch, facing Muhammad Ali in the Rumble in the Jungle in 1974, which was his only career stoppage defeat. Yep. And number 1 toughest of all time is the same man that had the toughest chin when I did that a couple weeks ago. George Chuvalo, toughest fighter of all time. There's George. He just took a punch from Muhammad Ali, but to George, that was part. It looked like a cross, right cross, and looked like a hard punch, but it probably was just like a mosquito bite to George Chuvalo. Never knocked out in his career. He was stopped, but he was stopped on his feet. Never knocked out. George Chuvalo, the toughest fighter of all time, had 93 fights in his career. Won 73 wins, 18 losses, 2 draws, never stopped. Chuvalo may not have the widespread fame of Ali or Tyson, but he is considered by many as the toughest man to ever lace a pair of gloves. He fought the best of the best whilst competing in the golden era of heavyweight boxing. Went up against the likes of Ali, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Ernie Shavers, and many more. Could knock this guy down. In fact, in his 93 career fights, he was never knocked down once. Never knocked down once. Only losing inside the distance when stopped on his feet, or TKO. And there you have it, okay? We get ready to talk about Sergey Kovalev with the 10 top 10 toughest fighters in boxing history. Number 1, George Chuvalo. Number 2, Big George Foreman. Number 3, Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Number 4, Muhammad Ali. Number 5, Iron Mike Tyson. Number 6, Canelo Alvarez. Number 7, Larry Holmes. Number 8, The Real Deal, Evander Holyfield. Number 9, Triple G, Gennady Golovkin. And number 10, Pancho Villa. Pancho Villa died tragically at 23 years old, but guess what? He had over 100 fights in his career, and his career ended at 23. Incredible. Okay, let's get into Salvador Sanchez now. The life and career. No, what I'm talking about. Sergey Kovalev. I'm thinking about Salvador Sanchez because he died tragically at 23 too, just like Pancho Villa. Yeah. Both of those guys just incredible, man. Man only fought to 23 and still had over 100 fights. Man, if he'd have fought till he was like in his 30s, he probably would have had about 500. Damn. That's crazy, isn't it? 23 years old when his career ended. Still over 100 fights. Wow. Okay. I ain't start before 2:30. I did that the other day and look what happened. Internet went out on me. But we're going to be talking about the life and career of Sergey Crusher Kovalev today. Yeah, Muhammad just caught him with a right cross, but George probably just looked at him like, that all you got, Muhammad? Yeah, Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, Ernie Shavers, Joe Frazier, none of them could knock out. Never been off his feet, let alone knocked out, George Kovalev. And remember, he was the toughest chin also on my list. Toughest chins list a couple weeks ago. But it's good to see everybody again today. We're right at the end of another big week of boxing history. Smash the like button on the way in. It's appreciated. Just Do Boxing in the building coming up at 4 p.m. Another fire show. Okay. We got live boxing tomorrow. March 15th. I'm trying to stall. We got one more minute. Yeah, Sergey Crusher Kovalev. I was talking all week about his fire resume, and then I looked at it last night. It's even more fire than I thought it was. And we get ready to talk about it. Even more fire than I thought it was. Fought everybody. Andre Ward, Canelo. Fought Andre Ward twice. John Pascal twice. Isaac Chilembo. Bernard Hopkins. Nathan Cleverly. Sullivan Barrera. Bektamir Melikuziev. Anthony Yard. Whew. Told you he had one of them Canelo resumes, man. Okay, 2:30. Excuse me for 1 second. Miss Cass went out. She was waiting on a package. I thought I heard somebody knock. I need like 30 seconds. Sorry about that. About 30 seconds. That's all. I just gotta check. If I miss it, I'm gonna get killed. Okay, nothing there. I'm back. Boy. Okay, yeah, nothing there. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. Yeah, these people nowadays will put your packages out in the yard. I ordered a 55-inch TV a couple of years ago. I pulled up and looked at this big box leaning against the outside of the front door. It was my TV, right? Yeah. In the old days, they used to leave a pink slip and then they would take it to the post office, but now they just leave it and go on about their business. Okay, but the life and career of Sergey Kovalev. Let's get started. Sorry about the interruption. I hope they bang on the door or something if they come. Okay. Got a window right here, but my back to it. I would be able to see them. Okay. Life and career of Sergey Kovalev. Now, Sergey Alexandrovich Kovalev, okay? He was born April 2nd, 1983. Former Russian professional boxer. He held multiple light heavyweight world championships, including the WBA Undisputed and IBF titles from 2014 to 2016, and the WBO title 3 times between 2013 and 2019, WBO light heavyweight. He was nicknamed the Crusher Kovalev, right? And he is particularly known for his exceptional punching power, although he describes himself as just a regular boxer, okay? But he had some pop to him, the Crusher. That's why they call him the Crusher, right? Now, Crusher Kovalev from Kopes, Russia, okay? And fought in 2 weight classes, light heavyweight and cruiserweight. Won his titles at light heavyweight. He was 6 foot even, right? Had a reach of 72.5 inches. Fought in the orthodox stance, okay? Had a total of 41 fights in his career. He won 35, lost 5, had 1 draw, 29 knockouts. Told you he had pop. Should have had that knockout rate figured. Knockout rate of 82.8%. Yeah. Known for his punching power and over 80% knockout rate. Okay. Crusher Kovalev. Let's continue. In November of 2019, Kovalev was ranked as the world's 2nd best light heavyweight by the Ring magazine, 3rd by BoxRec, and 4th by the Transnational Boxing Rankings Board, the TBRB. In 2014, the Ring magazine named him its Fighter of the Year. Yeah, we went over that earlier this week, remember? When we did the 2010 to 2019, and we probably do the last one Monday. We got to do the last 5 years, 2020 to 2024. Yeah, we'll do that Monday. Finish that up. Let's look at Kovalev's early life. Early life of Crusher Kovalev. Okay. Now, Kovalev was initially interested in ice hockey, but stopped playing ice hockey after his equipment was stolen from a dressing room. Now, because his parents could not afford to purchase replacement equipment, he decided to try other sports. Several months after he stopped playing hockey, he began to practice both boxing and amateur wrestling. Okay? Let's check out his amateur career then. Sergey Kovalev in the amateurs. Now, Kovalev started boxing in 1994 at the age of 11, and he made his amateur debut in the 1997 Russian Boxing Junior Championship, where he won a gold medal in the middleweight juniors division. 1 year later, he competed with the seniors and reached the finals and won the final fight the year after. He competed in the European Championship for the Russian team, right? The year after, and he won the championship. Crusher Kovalev did, okay? Now, in 2004, Kovalev participated in the Russian Senior Championship for the first time, and he reached the finals and won the gold medal in the team event. In 2005, he reached the peak of his amateur career and won 2 championships, the first as a champion of Russia and the second as a champion among servicemen. He won the silver medal in the championship for servicemen in 2006. In 2007, he finished 3rd in both the Russian Championship and World Military Games in India. Okay? I think every male in Russia had to go in the military for at least like 2 years. I know it used to be like that. Everybody, okay, got to do at least 2 years in the military over there. In 2008, Kovalev participated in his final amateur competition and reached the finals, after which he decided to turn professional. Now, Kovalev admitted that he felt forced to leave the national team because of the intense competition between him and other boxers, such as Artur Beterbiev, to whom he lost 25-24. Okay? Now, Kovalev finished his amateur career with a record of 195 wins, 18 losses. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's look at some of the highlights of his amateur career. 2000, he won the Russian Junior Championship, silver medalist at light welterweight. 2001, he won the Russian Junior Championship silver medal at middleweight. 2004, Russian Championship silver medal at middleweight, losing to Matt Korobov. 2005, the Russian Championships gold medal at middleweight. Also in 2005, the World Military Championships gold medalist at light heavyweight in Pretoria, South Africa. 2006, the World Military Championships silver medalist at light heavyweight in Warendorf, Germany. 2007, the World Military Championships gold medalist at light heavyweight in Hyderabad, India. 2007, Russian Championships bronze medalist at light heavyweight, losing to Artur Beterbiev, right? Finally, 2008, the Russian Championship silver medalist at light heavyweight. Now let's move on to Sergey's professional career. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. I'm into some of the fighters he fought. We're not the B-Hop yet. Okay. His early career. Keep that in the chat. Okay, early career. Now, Kovalev started his career with a first-round knockout of Daniel Chavez at Greensboro Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina. His first fight was in Greensboro, North Carolina, USA. In July 2011, Kovalev won his first North American Boxing Association belt in a 10-round fight with Douglas Otieno from Kenya. His next fight against Grover Young was controversial. During the second round, Kovalev threw a left hook that the referee declared an illegal blow to the back of the head. Now, due to Young's inability to continue, the fight was declared a technical draw, right? Because it was only the second round. You know, it's got to go 4 before it could be an official fight. So they just called it a technical draw, right? Or RTD, you know, yeah. But only 2 rounds. So after 4 rounds, they would have went to the cards, you know, and declared a winner. Now, in his 2011 fight against Roman Simakov of Russia, Kovalev knocked down his opponent in the 6th round. Now, the fight was stopped, and Kovalev was awarded a TKO victory. Simakov was taken to the hospital, where he lapsed into a coma and died 3 days later. Wow. In 2012, John David Jackson became Kovalev's trainer. Now, Kovalev met Darnell Boone in the ring for the second time and knocked him out in the second round. And the win led him to be signed on to Main Events Boxing. Okay? On January 19th, 2013, Kovalev faced the former World Boxing Association light heavyweight champion, Gabriel Campillo. Kovalev took advantage of Campillo's faltering defense and knocked him down with the left hook. One of 3 knockdowns in the round, okay? So now, WBO light heavyweight champion. Getting to his first championship, Kovalev versus Cleverly. Okay, there's Kovalev and Cleverly right there. On August 17th, 2013, Kovalev fought Nathan Cleverly for the World Boxing Organization light heavyweight title. Now, Kovalev, who knocked most of his opponents out within 3 rounds, threw heavy shots in the first round and hurt Cleverly badly in the third round, dropping him twice. Kovalev knocked Cleverly down a third time in the fourth round until the referee intervened. It was the first time Cleverly had been knocked down as a professional. First time, well, first 3 times, because Crusher knocked him down 3 times on the way to the referee's stoppage. Okay, third round stoppage. Now let's look at his first few title defenses. On November 30th, 2013, Kovalev had his first defense of the WBO light heavyweight title against number 15th ranked Ismail Salak. Ismail was 21 wins, 1 loss, 17 knockouts, right? In round 2, Kovalev dropped Salak, and when Salak could not regain his footing, Kovalev floored him a second time and ended the fight. The fight averaged 1.25 million viewers on HBO. Okay, on March 29th, 2014, Kovalev defended his title against undefeated Cedric Agnew, 26-0, 13 knockouts, at the Adrian Phillips Ballroom at Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Okay? Now, although Agnew was not known to many boxing fans at the time, he had won against Yusuf Mack, Daniel Judah, and Otis Griffin. And Agnew's movement gave Kovalev difficulty at times. But after 3 rounds, Agnew was finished. He went down 3 times in the first 3 rounds, and he was finished by the 7th round. The fight drew an average of 1.48 million viewers on HBO. Now, although the figures were down from the Kovalev versus Salak fight, this fight was televised at the same time as Wisconsin versus Arizona, competing to reach the Final Four of the NCAA college basketball tournament. So yeah, I think I watched that game. So yeah, you say we can watch boxing anytime, but the NCAA tournament is only once a year. So the views were down for that fight because of the NCAA tournament. On August 2nd, 2014, Kovalev defended his WBO title against undefeated Australian contender Blake Caparello. Okay. Caparello came into the fight 19-0 with 1 draw and 6 knockouts. This fight was at the Revelle Casino Hotel in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Kovalev fought a lot in Atlantic City. And it was televised on Boxing After Dark, HBO. Now, Kovalev hoped for a unification fight against WBC champion Adonis Stevenson, but Stevenson stated he would only fight on Showtime. As Kovalev was contracted to HBO, he had to fight Caparello instead. Now, Caparello scored a flash knockdown. And that's when that side of the streets nonsense was really, really beginning to go strong around that time, right? And so they were on 2 different networks, so, the fight couldn't get made. So Caparello scored a flash knockdown on Kovalev after catching him with a solid shot while Kovalev was off balance. Kovalev, however, was unhurt and even appeared enraged and beat Caparello in a second-round technical knockout. And the fight was watched by an average of 990,000 viewers and peaked at 1.52 million. Now, Kovalev's victory allowed him to fight Bernard Hopkins, in the fall of 2014. Main event spokesperson Kathy Duva believed there was a loss of focus due to building pressure, which was why Kovalev was dropped by Caparello. Kovalev shrugged it off, though, and he claims that he felt pressure, saying, "I didn't think about Bernard Hopkins tonight." He said he didn't feel any pressure, right? He said, "I didn't think about Bernard Hopkins tonight. I was focused on Caparello." It is very important, a big step for me. If I did not win the fight against Caparello, there's no fight with Bernard Hopkins. Now, Lou DiBella, a promoter of Caparello, praised Kovalev, particularly the body shot that ended the fight. Now, negotiations for the Hopkins fight had begun prior to the Caparello fight, so it looked like he did take him a little bit lightly, right? They was negotiating with B-Hop before he even fought Caparello, and he went in there and got dropped by Caparello. See, one fight at a time. Okay, so next is the Bernard Hopkins fight. Okay, next is the Bernard Hopkins fight. Unified light heavyweight champion. This was a unification because he had the WBO light heavyweight and B-Hop had one of them. I think it was WBC. But Kovalev versus Hopkins. There you go. On November 8th, 2014, Kovalev and Hopkins. Hopkins was 55 wins, 6 losses, 2 draws, 32 knockouts at the time. And on November 8th, 2014, they fought in a unification fight at the Boardwalk Hall back in Atlantic City once again. And the fight was televised on HBO World Championship Boxing. Now, Kovalev defeated Hopkins by unanimous decision to retain his WBO light heavyweight title and win the WBA and IBF titles from Hopkins in a one-sided fight. Kovalev knocked Hopkins down in the very first round and won every single round on all 3 judges' scorecards while he shut B-Hop out. The score totals of the fight read, shutout. 2 judges had a 120-107. Wow, he got a 2-point round and 120-106. That's like 2 2-point rounds. Wow. He knocked B-Hop down. How many times did he knock him down? I just read it. Yeah, he knocked him down in the first round. Then he must have been dominant because he got 2 2-point rounds. Because, regular shutout is 120-108. But with 1 2-point round is 120-107. And one judge had a 120-106. Right? So B-Hop got a point deducted, or he had a couple 2-point rounds, but he was dominant, won every round. Shut B-Hop out. Okay? In round 12, Kovalev landed 138 punches on Hopkins, the most any boxer had ever landed on B-Hop in a single round in his 41 fights recorded by CompuBox. Now, Hopkins earned $1 million while Kovalev earned $500,000. Kovalev said after the fight, "I'm very happy. This victory was for my son, Alexander. The fight was considered successful as it was watched by an average of 1.3 million viewers." Okay? So next is John Pascal. I'm trying to wind the laptop up to the picture and I'm on the phone winding. Damn. There's him and Pascal. Those pictures are beautiful, ain't they? Told y'all the other day, I just learned after 2 years how to bring them from the internet straight. Instead of taking a picture with the phone, I just learned how to just do internet to internet. And I must say, they are beautiful. Put a thumb in the chat if they're beautiful. No, just kidding. But Kovalev versus Pascal. Okay, that was his next defense. On March 14th, 2015, Kovalev defended his world titles and fought John Pascal. Pascal came into the fight with 29 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 17 knockouts. And this was for the WBC Diamond light heavyweight title. It was at the Bell Center in Montreal, live on HBO. Now, Kovalev had just been named Sports Illustrated 2014 Fighter of the Year, right? Now, Ring Magazine is the big one, though. I think he got it for Ring Magazine, too, in 2014, yeah, because we covered that earlier this week, remember? Yeah, he got the big one, too, okay? Now, in the 8th round, the referee stopped the fight as he felt Pascal was badly injured. However, Pascal felt the interruption was unfair and demanded a rematch at the time. Pascal demanded a rematch, and at the time, Kovalev led 68-64 on all 3 judges' scorecards, right? That was the 8th round with 4 rounds to go. Yeah, Pascal just about needed every round or some knockdowns or something to win. Right. So he shouldn't have been too mad. Kovalev really had to win one more round. Pascal would needed a knockout, right? Now the fight averaged 1.1 million viewers on HBO. Next fight was against Mohammadi. There's him and Mohammadi. French fighter, Najib Mohammadi. Okay, he looks French. That's Najib on the right, the French fighter. Okay, now Kovalev versus Mohammadi. On July 25th, 2015, Kovalev fought French boxer Najib Mohammadi. Mohammadi was 37 wins, 3 losses, 23 knockouts. This fight was at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, Kovalev knocked Mohammadi down once in the second round and again in the third round. And the second knockdown ended Mohammadi's night and gave Kovalev his 25th knockout victory, right? Kovalev said in the post-fight interview, "I wanted more rounds. I wanted him to look like a clown. I want him to look foolish. I'm very happy that I got the victory." Kovalev said, "I gave my best. I am happy. I told him to stand up. It was a short show. People didn't see boxing." Abel Sanchez, Mohammadi's trainer, believed his boxer was overwhelmed with being on the main event and feeling pressure. Well, whose problem is that? You know? Now, Kovalev earned $750,000 and Mohammadi earned a career high $270,000. And Mohammadi's trainer said he felt pressure by being in the main event. Well, don't take the fight. Fight on the undercard then, right? Now, the fight was seen by just over 1 million viewers on HBO. Kathy Dubas stated that Kovalev was looking for a homecoming fight next, likely on November 28th in Moscow, and stated she would call promoter Yvonne Mitchell, who set up a fight with two-time Olympian Artur Beterbiev. Beterbiev was 9-0 with 9 knockouts at the time, who defeated Kovalev in the amateurs. But the fight was unlikely to happen as Beterbiev was advised by Al Heyman and performed on PBC Premier Boxing Champions, who were banned by HBO. Yeah, HBO wasn't fooling with PBC at that time, so that fight wasn't likely to happen. And PBC was on Showtime, remember? So, and it never did happen. So he did have the rematch with Pascal. That was next. Remember, Pascal felt the first fight was stopped prematurely and demanded a rematch, and he got it. He didn't get the immediate rematch, but he got it. Okay, so that was his next fight, the rematch with Pascal. So let's see what happened. Stopped him in the 8th round last time. Okay. Kovalev versus Pascal and then Chilemba. Now, Kovalev had a rematch with Pascal on January 30th, 2016 at the Bell Center in Montreal, Canada, on HBO. Now, Pascal was pumped for the rematch, stating it would turn out differently than the first fight. Now, I put him down in the 8th round in the first fight, but the referee called it a slip. But I promise you, the Kovalev is going to have a full plate in the rematch. I'm going to have a full plate as well. But I have a new trainer. Pascal had Freddie Roach at that time. And he said, I'm going to teach Kovalev some respect and to respect Canadian boxing fans. And Kovalev went to Pascal's home of Canada for this fight. And Kovalev dominated the fight, both outpointing and outlanding Pascal by wide margins. Kovalev won when Roach refused to let Pascal continue after the 7th round, so he stopped him earlier this time. During the pause, the scorecards read 70-62, 3 times in favor of Kovalev. So he had won every round, just dominated Pascal. Beat him worse. Round 5 was scored 10-8 on 3 judges' scorecards without a knockdown. After the round, Roach threatened to pull Pascal. According to Combat Box stats, Kovalev landed 165 of 412 punches, 40%, and Pascal landed 30 of 108 punches, 28%. Now, after the fight, Kovalev said his future plans would likely include a fight with former super middleweight champion Andre Ward, SOG. But he first wanted a unification fight with reigning WBC and Adonis Stevenson, a lineal champion. Kovalev called Stevenson Adonis Chickenson during the post-fight interview. Stevenson, who was in attendance, responded by confronting Kovalev in the ring, surrounded by 3 bodyguards. And this fight averaged 1.1, with Pascal averaged 1.1 million viewers on HBO and peaked at 1.2 million viewers. Okay, I don't think he ever fought Stevenson. Yeah, the Kovalev had a warm-up fight on July 11th against Isaac Chilemba. Chilemba was 3-2 with 10 knockouts. This fight was in there is Chilemba too. Got it. Pascal. There's him and Chilemba. There. Now, Chilemba was 24-3 with 2 draws and 10 knockouts. This fight was in Ekaterinburg, Russia, at the Palace of Sports. It was the first time in 5 years that Kovalev had returned to Russia for a fight to defend his WBA, IBF, and WBO light heavyweight titles. Now, Chilemba was known for having a similar style to Andre Ward, so that he was getting a warm-up fight for Ward, so that's why he picked Chilemba. He had a similar style to Andre Ward. Thomas Hill in the building. What's up, T Hill? How are you today? Yeah. Chilemba was a warm-up fight for Andre Ward, and he did have a similar style, okay? So let's see what happened with him and Chilemba. Okay. Kovalev tipped the scales at 174 pounds, while Chilemba weighed in at 174.8 pounds. Kovalev earned a unanimous points decision after a hard-earned top battle. The 3 judges at ringside scored the fight, 117-110, 116-111, and 118-109 at the end of 12 rounds in favor of Kovalev. That seemed pretty wide, who retained his titles. In round 7, Chilemba staggered across the ropes and was down by a straight left with a right to the jaw. And the fight aired live on HBO and averaged 355,000 viewers. Okay? But then he had consecutive defeats. Andre Ward was his next fight. Okay? That's him in SOG. Okay? Kovalev versus Ward. Consecutive defeats. Okay, everybody hitting the little like button. That's here. There we go here. Okay. On June 16th, 2016, it was announced that a contract had been signed between Kovalev and Andre Ward. Andre Ward was 30-0 with 15 knockouts at the time. And that the fight would take place at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada on November 19th, 2016. Now, both fighters remained undefeated through interim fights, right? Leading up to the fight. Now, Kovalev lost a closely contested controversial decision against Ward, with all the judges scoring the fight 114-113 in favor of Ward. Close fight, right? Now, Larry Merchant stated after the fight, it was a classic hometown decision. Kovalev won the fight. That's what Larry Merchant claimed, but the judges didn't. Gareth Davis, boxing correspondent, gave the fight to Kovalev with 115-112, as did Max Kellerman. Kathy Duba said, "We got a great fight, which is what boxing needed, but we also got a bad decision, which is not what boxing needed." Many boxing experts have applauded the decision. Pauline Malignaggi noted the high degree of difficulty both fighters faced that night and doubted the prospect of a one-sided affair in the case of a rematch, though he concluded that Kovalev faded late in Kovalev faded late in the fight, right? Excuse me for a minute. I thought I heard somebody knocking. No. Okay. We was waiting on the package. Now, where was it? Okay. Paulie Malignaggi was talking about Kovalev faded, right? Yeah, Paulie Malignaggi concluded that Kovalev faded late in the fight. Promoter Eddie Hearn added that Kovalev lacked a sense of urgency after the halfway point. Gennady Golovkin's trainer, Abel Sanchez, noticed how Kovalev allowed Ward on the inside and as a result was worn down. For the fight, Kovalev received a minimum of $2 million and Ward a career high, $5 million. Combat box stats showed that Kovalev landed 126 of 474 punches for 27%, and Ward landed 116 out of 337 for 34%. Ward did have the highest percentage. Now, the fight was reported to have accomplished 160,000 buys on HBO pay-per-view. A replay was shown on HBO prior to the Lomachenko Walters title fight, which averaged 834,000 viewers. The replay got more than the actual fight, way more. The event produced a live gain of $3.3 million from 10,066 tickets sold, including complimentary tickets. The full attendance was announced as 13,310, and the venue was set up to hold 14,227. Okay? So, immediate rematch. Kovalev versus Ward 2. Okay? They had the immediate rematch. I said the immediate rematch. Immediate rematch. Right? Let me take a drink real quick. Excuse me for one moment, please. Took a long one. Okay, Kovalev versus Ward 2. They had the immediate rematch. Let's talk about the rematch. Now, Kovalev's manager, Aegis Klimas, announced that negotiations had begun for the rematch between Ward and Kovalev. Now, according to the NSAC, the T-Mobile Arena, Nevada State Athletic Commission, the T-Mobile Arena was reserved for June 17, 2017 on HBO pay-per-view. On March 24, 2017, Kovalev revealed on social media that he had signed his end of the deal. It was also noted that the fight would take place at the Mandalay Bay in Paradise, Nevada on HBO pay-per-view. On April 4th, Rock Nation Sports and Main Events confirmed that terms were agreed for the rematch to take place on HBO pay-per-view. And the fight was billed as No Excuses, right? The Las Vegas Sun confirmed the fight would take place at the Mandalay Bay Event Center on April 10th. On April 10th, would take place at the Mandalay Bay Event Center on April 10th, okay? Now, Kathy Duba said that there would be no rematch clause in place for a third fight, which meant the winner would not be obliged to fight another rematch, right? Now, the fight purses were revealed before the fight, with Ward taking a guaranteed $6.5 million and Kovalev not having a base purse, receiving a percentage of pay-per-view and gate revenue. Might end up with more than Ward, Now, the fight ended in the 8th round with Ward's victory. At the end of the fight, two judges had Ward ahead at 67-66. while the third judge had it 68-65 in favor of Kovalev. You had two close fights by these two guys. The carpet box stats showed that Ward landed 80 of 238 punches, 34%. That was the exact same percentage he had last time. While Kovalev landed 95 of his 407 zone, 23%. Kovalev's percentage went down. The Ward commended Kovalev in the post-fight interview. He's a good fighter, and I have nothing but respect for him. First time around, the man is world champion, and he's been on top a long time. I give him credit. He's a great fighter, and when you fight great fighters, you have to raise your game. Now, Kovalev said the fight could have continued. I don't know. I can't explain it. Not every round, but I thought I was doing very good. I was better, and he was better this fight. I didn't feel like I was getting knocked down with his punches. I could have continued, Kovalev said. I didn't feel the punch. This is fighting. We are boxers. Yes, he did punch me, but he didn't hurt me. The fight should have continued. That's what Kovalev said, okay? Got a point there. You know, we are fighters. Now, according to Yahoo Sports, the fight generated around 130,000 buyers on HBO pay-per-view. Now, the replay was shown on regular HBO, which averaged 752,000 viewers and peaked at 947,000 during the final round. The event produced $2,187,340 from 366,366 tickets sold, including complimentary tickets. The number of attendees was announced to be 10,592. Now, Kovalev spoke to reporters in Russian on June 27, 2017, and confirmed that he would be making changes to his team, which included a new head trainer, meaning he would part ways with John David Jackson, and a new specialist. Due to having issues making the light heavyweight limit, now Kovalev considered moving up to cruiserweight. Reports also suggested that Ward's trainer, Virgil Hunter, offered his services to Kovalev. On October 26, 2017, Kovalev announced Abrar Persampulatov as his new trainer. Okay, here's his new trainer. Y'all know that wasn't the man's name. What I just said. You got over 5 letters in your last name. I can't pronounce it, so here's what his trainer's name really was. Okay, new trainer. P-U-R-S-U-N. Hope the phone don't change it. P-U-L-A-T-O-V. Okay, there's the man. Abrar Persampulatov. Okay, let's continue. That was his new trainer anyway. So, AT, that's what I'm gonna call him. AT was most known for training and developing amateurs, such as the 2016 Rio Olympic gold medalist, Fazlidin. Oh my goodness. Okay, he trained the 2016 Rio Olympic gold medalist, okay? So now, his second reign as WBO light heavyweight champion, okay, against Shabransky. Next fight was against Shabransky. There's him and Shabransky. Right there, Kovalev on the right. On November 25th, Kovalev appeared on Boxing After Dark against light heavyweight contender Vyacheslav Shabransky. Shabransky was 19-1 with 16 knockouts in a scheduled 10-round fight that took place at the theater at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Now, Kovalev spoke about his consecutive defeats to Andre Ward. He said, I learned a lot from my fights with Andre Ward. When you don't win and when you suffer adversity, it makes you stronger. It also shows you who your real friends are. I feel like I cleaned out my life and now I'm ready to start fresh. I'm very excited to get back in the ring and fight at Madison Square Garden for the first time. And I'm focused on the future. I'm not looking back. Kovalev told Ring TV that he would not have a lead trainer for this fight. So on October 12th, Main Events asked the WBO to sanction the fight for their vacant title, following Ward's retirement from boxing. At the time, Zabransky was not ranked by WBO in their top 15. On October 26th, WBO decided to sanction the fight, also meaning the fight would now be a 12-round fight. It was 10, but once the WBO sanctioned it as a title fight, it went to 12 rounds. Ray Patterson, straight out of New Jersey. What's up, RP? How are you today? The life and career of Sergey Kovalev today. Ray Patterson, straight out of New Jersey in the building. Okay? All right. So yeah, it was a 10-round fight, but the WBA decided to. Andre Ward retired, so now the WBO was vacant. So the WBO put their vacant title up between Kovalev and what was the guy's name? Zabransky. Yeah, Zabransky. So it's now a 12-round title fight. And Zabransky was not ranked by the WBO, so I don't know what they did about that. On November 15th, the International Boxing Association announced that they would be sanctioning the fight for their vacant light heavyweight title. The IBA title was last held by Beibut Tumanov until he lost to Hopkins in April 2014. And due to Hopkins not paying their sanctioning fees, he was stripped, and the title was now vacant. So Kovalev regained the WBO title after stopping Zabransky in round 2. Kovalev knocked Zabransky down 3 times during the fight before it was stopped. Speaking to Max Kellerman on HBO, Kovalev said, I did it. I worked really hard. Mentally, physically, I'm back. It's my goal to be the best in the division. Last fight, I was stopped. It was a decision by the referee. Here tonight was great boxing for me, and I love boxing, and I am here to make great fights. He also went on to say that he would like a unification fights going forward. CompuBox showed that Kovalev landed 50 of 113 punches, 44%. This including 25 of 36 power shots. Not bad, 25 of 36 in round 2, right? And Zabransky landed 16 of 71, 23%. According to Nielsen Media Research, the fight averaged 869,000 viewers and peaked at 900,000 viewers. Okay? Kovalev versus McCarthy. That was his first defense. He's now the new WBO title and the minor title, IBA. Okay? Making his first defense against McCarthy. Immediately after defeating Zabransky, Kovalev on the left, McCarthy on the right. Immediately after defeating Zabransky, Kovalev stated that he would return to the theater on March 3rd, 2018 in the hopes of joining a unification fight with belt holder Artur Beterbiev, had the IBF. Dmitry Bivol had the WBA, and Adonis Stevenson had the WBC. Now, Dmitry Bivol with the WBA and Stevenson with the WBC, right? Or Beterbiev with the IBF. He wanted a unification fight with one of those 3, but he never fought none of those 3 in his career. On December 18th, ESPN reported a deal was close to being made for Kovalev to defend his WBO title against IBO title holder Igor Mikhalkin, 21 wins, 1 loss, 9 knockouts, who was on a 10-fight winning streak. McCorkin was on a 10-fight winning streak. Now, the fight took place on March 3rd, 2018, at the theater at Madison Square Garden on HBO. Now, initially, McCorkin was in talks with contender Marcus Brown for a final eliminator. Kovalev retained his world title and defeated McCorkin by TKO in round 7. After the fight, Kovalev said, "This was better work for me than my last fight. It may have looked easy, but it was not easy tonight." According to CompuBox, Kovalev landed 186 of 526 punches, 35%, and McCorkin landed 43 of his 275 thrown, just 16%. And the fight averaged 599,000 viewers and peaked at 74,000 viewers. Okay? Kovalev versus Elida Alvarez. Not Canelo yet. Elida Alvarez. Okay? He had 2 fights against this guy, too, by the way. Okay? There's him and Alvarez. Right? Not Canelo. Elida Alvarez. Okay? Al Booker in the building. What's up, AB? We're talking about the Crusher. Sergey Crusher Kovalev getting up into his career now. Fighting Elida Alvarez. Canelo is coming up soon too. But Elida Alvarez. Now this fight took place on March 18th, right? A deal was made for Kovalev to defend his WBO title at Madison Square Garden again on HBO. A date as early as June 23rd was discussed, but not finalized. On April 6th, Marcus Brown was arrested for domestic violence. Kovalev was talking about fighting him, but Brown got arrested for domestic violence, right? April 18th, Kovalev announced he would instead fight longtime WBC mandatory challenger Elida Alvarez, who was 23-0 with 11 knockouts in the summer of 2018, instead of Marcus Brown, who had got arrested on domestic violence, right? Now, a guy named Michael was the promoter for both Alvarez and Adonis Stevenson, was unable to come up with an agreement for a step-aside fee for Alvarez to allow Stevenson to fight Kovalev, right? So Alvarez's manager, Shane Lepine, then considered main events for a possible fight. On August 4th, the fight took place at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey, back in Atlantic City again. Now Alvarez won the fight by TKO in round 7 to claim the WBO title. Kovalev got stopped for the second time. Remember, Andre Ward stopped him too. Alvarez explained that part of the game plan was to wait for Kovalev to tire. Referee David Fields stopped the fight. Yep. After the fight, Kathy Duba confirmed there was a rematch clause in the contract, but was unsure if the rematch would take place straight away. Kovalev was hospitalized as a precaution. He thanked the fans for their support and hinted at retirement. Through a translator, Alvarez said, not Canelo now, "Words cannot describe how I feel. I want to thank God and all my fans in Canada and Colombia. This was all for them. It was a 2-punch combination for the final knockdown that I've been throwing my entire career, and we worked on it in camp. I have always practiced that in camp, and we thought it would work in this fight." CompuBox stats showed that Kovalev landed 91 punches of 339, so 27%, and Alvarez landed 73 of his 251 thrown, 29%. Okay? So, they had the rematch, and he'll be making his 3rd reign as WBO champion, because he did win the rematch against Elida Alvarez, okay? Now, Kathy Duba said they wasn't sure if it was going to be. She said it would be a rematch, but she wasn't sure if it would be immediate, but they did have an immediate rematch. Aunt McQueen in the building. What's up, Aunt McQueen? Aunt says Pete Kovalev was a bad dude. Yes, he was, Crusher. He had pop too, Aunt. over 80% knockout rate. Yeah. Salute, Ed. So they did have the immediate rematch, though. Okay. And so this will be his third reign as WBO champion. Kovalev versus Elijah Alvarez 2. Okay. Did I change it? Yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah. Anthony Yard is next. Okay. Yeah, he had a fire resume. One of them Oscar resumes. Well, Elijah Alvarez 2. Now, this fight took place on August 25th. Kovalev said he would exercise the rematch clause, according to the contract. Now, the fight needed to occur by February 2019. Early talks indicated the rematch would take place in December 2018. Now, a stumbling block appeared when HBO confirmed they were not fully committed to airing a rematch between the two fighters. Kathy Dubas stated at any point competing networks could bid on the fight, but all HBO needed to do was match the highest bid to broadcast the fight. On September 14th, 2018, it was announced that ESPN would broadcast the rematch, okay? And the fight took place on February 2nd, 2019. It had to occur by February 2nd, 2019, at the Ford Center in Frisco, Texas, right? Now, Kovalev worked with his new trainer, Buddy McGirt, with this fight, ending his 3-fight run with the other guy that I put in the chat, Kasum Pulatov, right? Now, Kovalev regained the WBO title after defeating Alvarez by a 12-round unanimous decision, and he became a 3-time light heavyweight title holder. And the judges had it: 120, 108, 116, 112 twice for Kovalev. Wow, that's 12-0, and then what's that? 160, 112, like 8-4? Yeah. 2 judges gave Alvarez no rounds, but one gave him 4. Yeah, 160, 112, but I think it's 8-4. Wow. Crazy sometimes when you look at these judges' scores, man. I know they're not going to be exactly the same, but damn. 2 gave him no rounds and 1 gave him 4 rounds. But anyway, he won his titles back. After the fight, Kathy Dubas said, "I am thrilled. It's sweeter when nobody thinks you can do it." Now, on the loss, Alvarez says, "I have no excuses. I know if it went the distance, he would be the favorite. So I tried to press the fight. I thought I put on a good performance. I don't see myself as a loser, but I do give him credit. He went out and proved he wanted to win the fight." Now, Kovalev gave his training team credit. "This training camp, I had help from my team, Buddy McGirt and Teddy." I guess Teddy, it just says Teddy. "Now, thank you guys for this. I don't know. They stopped me from overtraining. I saved my energy and I'm happy. We worked on the jab, always my jab and right hand." You know, Karpenbach said Kovalev 26% and Alvarez 30%. But Kovalev had 213 of 816 for 26%. Alvarez had 111 of 369 for 30%. Very interesting. Alvarez had the higher percentage, landed the more punches. Well, no, he landed the less punches, but I don't know. Let's go to Anthony Yard. Kovalev versus Yard was his first defense in his third reign as WBO champion, right? First defense in his third reign. Anthony Yard, August 24th, 2019, faced off against British challenger Anthony Yard. Okay? And Yard previously stopped 17 of his 18 opponents. And this fight was at Track to Arena in Kovalev's hometown in Russia. Now, Yard was ranked number 1 by the WBO at light heavyweight. So the champion against the number 1 contender. That's how it's supposed to be, right? After 11 rounds, Kovalev knocked out Yard with a straight left jab. Got it with a jab. ending the fight by TKO and retaining his WBO and ESP light heavyweight titles. What is ESP? Wow. Now, according to CompuBox, Kovalev landed 223 of 686 for 32.5%. Yard 132 of 575, 23%, right? And this was the most punches any fighter had ever landed on Kovalev. And after the fight, Kovalev praised Yard for his toughness, saying that Yard will 100% become a world champion one day. Has he? I don't know. I don't think Yard has ever had a title yet. He fell short against Beterbiev, I know, but I'm not sure. But the next fight was the other Alvarez. That one. Canelo Alvarez. Okay? Now, Kovalev versus Canelo Alvarez. Okay? Winding down. Too. Now, less than 3 months after beating Yard, Kovalev faced unified middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez, November 2nd, 2019. And Canelo was making his debut in the light heavyweight division in this fight. Now, after a competitive first 10 rounds in which Kovalev found success with his jab, Canelo threw a left hook, straight right combination to stop Kovalev in the 11th round. Left hook, straight right. Stop Kovalev in the 11th round. After the fight, Kovalev suggested that he had always been unlikely to win the fight due to the grueling schedule of back-to-back training camps, which resulted from the short period of time between the Yard and Canelo fights. But had agreed to fight the latter regardless, due to the high financial incentive, which was reported to be $12 million. That was the highest payday ever, right? Now, Canelo responded by calling Kovalev a bad loser. And Kovalev was making excuses, talking about the short window in between the two fights, right? But, he wasn't turning down that $12 million, so he got in there. So you really can't make excuses, because you always could have turned it down. But you can't blame him. It was the Canelo. Who turns down a Canelo fight, right? So after Canelo, I think he had a couple of canceled fights. Canceled fights versus Barrera and Melakuziev. Now, on March 5th, 2020, it was announced that Kovalev would return to the ring on April 25th to fight light heavyweight contender Sullivan Barrera. I don't know if they fought, but I'm going to put it up there anyway. There's him and Barrera. Kovalev on the left, Barrera on the right. Obviously, right? He said he would return to the ring on April 25th to fight light heavyweight contender Sullivan Barrera, right? Booker said that's one of the most transparent dives he's ever seen. Oh, the one against Kovalev against Canelo? Okay. Yeah, Canelo put that combination on it. What was it? The left hook, straight right? I forgot what it was already. Left hook, straight right combination. Canelo left hook, straight right. Booker said it was one of the most transparent dives he's ever seen. You don't think that left hook, straight right got him? The Canelo left hook, straight right didn't do the job, Albert? Okay, but yeah. It was announced he would fight Sullivan Barrera. They made the announcement in March 2020. And the fight was supposed to be on April 25th. Light heavyweight contender Sullivan Barrera. But the fight was canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic, right? Now, Kovalev was next scheduled to fight Bektemir Melakuziev. Yeah, that's right, Bektemir Melakuziev. On January 30th, 2021, I heard other people say it. But the fight was canceled after Kovalev tested positive for a bad substance. Okay, so cruiserweight, went up to cruiserweight. On May 14th, 2022, Kovalev finally made his return 2 years after his loss to Canelo. but to die, like Al Booker said. He fought undefeated Pavel Pulev at the Kiev Forum in Inglewood, California. Now, Kovalev outworked Pulev to a unanimous decision with the scores of 98-92 twice and 97-93. And that was Pulev's first professional loss. Okay. Now let's look at some of his personal life a little bit. Okay. Felony assault charge. Wow. Let's see what that was all about. Felony assault charge. Got some other Russian boxers too. I don't know how I got way up there. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, that's the end of it. Got some other Russian boxers too. But let's look at this felony assault charge he had. On June 9th, 2018, I was looking at some of his, On June 9th, 2018, Kovalev was arrested in California for punching a woman in the face. Oh, Sergey. Punching a woman in the face. The woman suffered a broken nose, a concussion, and a displaced disc in her neck. Come on, man, a professional boxer hit the woman in the face. Wow. She suffered a broken nose, a concussion, and a displaced disc in her neck, right? This man been in there with Canelo, Andre Ward twice, John Pascal twice, Bernard Hopkins, and punched a woman in the face, man. Messed her up too. He was charged with assault, likely to cause great bodily injury. That was the charge. Assault that was likely to cause great bodily injury, which is a felony. Now, he pleaded not guilty on August 27, 2018. But somebody hit her. She had a broken nose, a concussion, and a displaced disc in her neck. That just didn't fall out the sky. But anyway, he pleaded not guilty, right? And he was released on $50,000 bail, right? On April 4th, 2019, Kovalev was held to answer for felony assault. Wait. I lost my place. Yeah, on April 4th, 2019, he was held to answer for felony assault causing great bodily injury. And the court found that there was enough evidence to proceed to trial on the felony charge. Kovalev was arraigned on April 19th, 2019. Also sued by the victim in San Bernardino Court, Superior County Court, right? In January of 2020, the accuser filed a new lawsuit against Kovalev in federal court in Los Angeles, alleging that the parties reached a $650,000 settlement in October 2019, but that Kovalev then breached the agreement by not making the agreed upon payments. And the state could have picked that up too, even though he, made the settlement. But I guess, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I mean, a professional boxer punched a woman in the face. He should have paid more than some kind of financial settlement. I'm talking about some jail time or something, man. Seriously. Been in there with Canelo on SOG. Now, because the original suit that he said he didn't make the payments. Now, because the original suit was not to be dismissed until Kovalev paid the entire $650,000, that suit also remained active. And the victim voluntarily dismissed the breach of contract lawsuit in September 2020. But the original assault lawsuit, remained pending and was set for trial beginning in January 2021. Now, on October 2nd, 2020, 3 days before his felony assault trial was scheduled to begin, Kovalev pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge of fighting, noise, offensive words. What? He got a misdemeanor out of it and was sentenced to 3 years of probation. and 2 days of time served. Let me hit a woman in the face like and do all that, man. I'm going out to the state, one of these state places. Come on, man. That's ridiculous. And they changed it to a misdemeanor. But the man had money, he had millions of dollars, so you know. Yep. But all he did was 3 years of probation. Hit the woman break the woman's nose, give her a concussion, and he messed up some kind of disc in her neck, right? All he got was 3 years probation for that, man. That's crazy. Floyd didn't do that much, and he went to jail for a few months. Wow. But, you know, I don't know. Let's move on, though, yeah. All he did was 3 months probation for that charge. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. 3 years probation. And 2 days of time served. I guess he stayed in there 2 days before his bail and everything. He was also required to complete an anger management course and pay court costs. A few weeks later, Kovalev's accuser filed to dismiss her assault lawsuit. Yeah, she got hit off. Yeah. She got hit off swell. You know, but hey, money talks. You know, money talks. I don't hit women, man. You know, especially a professional boxer. And then with Canelo, man. Punched the woman in the face. Damn. And all he did was 2 days, time served, and he got 3 years probation. And they called it a misdemeanor. Mm-hmm. A professional boxer whose hands are registered. Are his hands registered or something? Wow. Not a man hit a woman. That's crazy, man. But like I said, money talks. Let's look at some other Russian boxers. Since we was on Sergey Kovalev today. Some other Russian boxers. Some other great Russian boxers. He was on Sergey today. Hope everybody enjoyed that. This is Friday. We got another big week of boxing history coming up next week. Okay. Now, best Russian boxers of all time. Okay. Now, Mother Russia has blessed the boxing world with some of the greatest fighters we have ever seen. So here's a tribute to the best Russian boxers of all time. The Soviet Union used to be a dominant force in boxing during the Cold War days, like a once unified oak branching into independent saplings. The Soviet boxing tree, however, has seen its champions scattered across newly sovereign nations following the fall of the USSR in 1991. They're trying to get some of them back too. Okay, boxers like Ricardas Tamulis, a Lithuanian-born warrior who represented the hammer and sickle, are now categorized under their independent nations. The legacy of Russian boxers, however, still boasts some legends from the golden days of the Soviet era. Who are the best Russian boxers of all time? From Soviet titans of the Cold War to post-collapse contenders, Russian boxers boast a rich history and a future full of promise. Navigating the intricate geopolitical history made the task of assembling an all-time great Russian boxers list challenging, to say the least. Here's the best shot at bowling down the top 10. Artur Beterbiev. Okay. Artur Beterbiev can be considered the best active Russian boxer in the world today. Beterbiev was an undisputed champion in the light heavyweight division. He had the IBF. Well, he had all four, right? Lost them recently to Dmitry Bivol, remember, a few weeks back. But Artur Beterbiev still a great Russian boxer. Okay. Sultan Ibragimov. Ibragimov's story is one of dedication and triumph against all odds. Born in a small village in Dagestan, he embarked on a journey that took him from amateur glory to the pinnacle of professional boxing. Ibragimov wasn't just another heavyweight. He was a rare breed, the only Avar boxer to etch his name on the world title belt. Standing at 6'2". He might have been smaller than most heavyweights, but he compensated with his lightning fast southpaw jabs and surprising resilience. Sultan Ibragimov, packing a wallop in his punches. He wasn't afraid to stand his ground and trade blows. His grit and determination were legendary, making him a formidable opponent for any fighter in the ring. He is one of the 6 members of a premium club of left-handed fighters who have ascended to the title of World Heavyweight Champion. 7 now with Usyk. Ibragimov secured silver medals at the 2000 European Championships, the 2000 Olympics, and the 2001 World Championships, amassing an amateur record of 135 wins with 6 losses. Oleg Moskayev. Okay. Yep. Booker says it gives new meaning to the Crusher nickname. Apparently, it's a myth that pro boxers register their hands. Yeah, I think you're right as well. I think you're right, Al Booker. I just read that somewhere, but I don't think that's really true. You know, I don't think it's really true. We have Oleg Moskayev talking about some other great Russian boxers. Okay. Now, Oleg Moskayev was a heavyweight paradox. Standing tall at 6'3", with a granite physique and a fearsome punch, he possessed undeniable talent and skill. Yet, his reputation was marred by a notorious weakness, a glass jaw. He had one of them Amir Khan chins. He fell too many times, some defeats even coming against less technically gifted opponents. This Achilles heel ultimately kept him from boxing's absolute summit, landing him at number 8 on this list of the best Russian boxers of all time. Now, despite this, his late career triumph, winning the WBC belt and twice dethroning the formidable Hasim Rahman, remains a testament to his grit and determination. Despite turning pro in 1993, he dipped back into amateur competition before fully committing to the professional ranks in 1995. His early pro career was a roller coaster ride, marked by both exhilarating victories and brutal defeats. In November 1999, when he defied all odds to knock out the heavily favored Hasim Rahman in a shocking 8th round upset, this single powerful right hand sent Rahman crashing through the ropes and cemented the boxer's place in boxing history. 6 years later, he secured the WBC international title and the opportunity to contend for the WBC title, then held by Hasim Rahman, by defeating Sinan Sam of Turkey. Now, the crowning achievement of his career came on August 12, 2006, when he clinched the World Championship title by stopping Rahman again with a 12th round TKO. Yep. Stopped Hasim Rahman both times he won the title. Dmitry Bivol, talking about some other great Russian fighters since we talked about who did we talk about today? Oh man, I forgot. Sergey Kovalev. Sergey Kovalev, right. Dmitry Pirog is a rare gem among Russian boxers, as he holds the unique distinction of remaining invincible throughout his career. Even though he fought no more than 20 fights in his professional career, Pirog is celebrated as an influential figure in the Eastern European boxing arena. As an 8-year-old, he would navigate the black and white squares of the chessboard and saw a future as a professional chess player. He found his true calling in boxing later and crafted an immortal legacy with his lightning-fast footwork and defensive mastery. Dmitry Pirog. Okay. David Ivor-Peaton, not Avanesian, Ivor-Peaton. David Ivor-Peaton, something like that. He was an Armenian Russian amateur boxer. He provides inspiration and motivation to budding boxers, making him a fitting inclusion on this list, right? Russian National Championship was his first triumphant note, right? Won the Russian National Championship. Next, I'm just gonna run over real quick because we're running out of time. Now, just do boxing coming up next. Zurbak Basangarov. Come up with some names now. Then we had Yuri Arbatchakov, another great Russian fighter. He's not just the best Russian boxer of all time. He's arguably the greatest flyweight fighter. One of the greatest flyweights of all time, right? 5'4" tall. He might not have been a physical giant, but his boxing prowess spoke volumes, right? He was a Siberian, dominated the amateur circuit, claiming both the European and world championships. Had 186 wins, 21 losses as an amateur. Wow, not bad. Okay. Who else? I guess that's about it. Oh, yeah, well, we talked about Sergey. Sergey's number 2. I get ready to say Sergey Kovalev. And number 1, Kostya. They called him the best Russian boxer of all time, Kostya. Now, for Kostya, Olympic gold might have remained a flicker in the distance, but it did little to dim his radiant legacy. As an amateur, he established himself as an unstoppable force, claiming 2 European titles and a world championship. And he even showcased his brilliance on the global stage, earning a silver medal at another world championship. But his true mastery blossomed in the professional ranks. He shattered barriers and defied expectations, ultimately achieving the seemingly impossible, becoming the first undisputed light welterweight world champion in 3 decades. He was probably 3-belt, I guess, right around Kostya's time. Yeah. Now, Zhu carried the pride of 2 nations on his gloves, but his appeal extended far beyond national borders. His electrifying style and unwavering spirit garnered him fans across continents, transforming him from a binational hero to a universally celebrated icon of the boxing world. Now, as the curtain prepared to fall on Kostya's illustrious career in 2005, a young Ricky Hatton challenged the throne. Now, though age and injury cast their shadows. Zoo put on a tenacious display against the Hitman. His 31 wins, 25 by knockout in 2011 International Boxing Hall of Fame induction stand as a moment in his legacy. Let's see what his knockout rate was. Cost the Zoo. He had 25 knockouts and 31 wins. That's not bad at all. 80.6%. Not bad at all. Wakashya Zoo. Okay? This record makes him the best of the best among Russian boxers. Kostya Zoo. Okay? All right. We're going to Just Do Boxing is coming up next. Yeah. It does sound cool, though, Ed. Yeah, it does sound cool. Yep. Okay. Yeah, Just Do Boxing is getting ready to do his thing. In the 5 minutes. We're going on over. Hit the like button on the way into the building. For that fire, unbiased, balanced boxing talk from Just Do Boxing. Everybody gets to just do it, Just Do Boxing. As a matter of fact, let's see what's happening over there today. On Just Do Boxing today, special guest, Cherish the Technician Love, right? Just Do got a special guest today. And also, will Devin Haney be successful playing the villain role? Don't miss Just Do Boxing special guest, Cherish the Technician Love. Coming up in 5 minutes, okay? Wow. All right. Have the interview today over there on Just Do Boxing. Coming up. Ant McQueen, Al Booger, Ray Patterson, Thomas Hill, Just Do Boxing, Melanie Queen, Mike Rim, Mike Mazik, Miss Cass. Miss Cass not really here. She might be listening somewhere. But I appreciate everybody. It's Friday. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll be back Monday with another big week of boxing history. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Boxtorian bringing you all that boxing history. Just Do Boxing straight ahead with the interview. This is Cass Sports. Everybody have a great weekend. I will see y'all around those JBT streets.